What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, man. I'm going to do a post-fight to Vasil Lomachenko versus Jose Pedraza. I'm also going to talk about Teofimo Lopez and Isaac Dogbo and the fights this week. So let's start with the first of all, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and that way you can be notified when we release videos and we do live streams, okay? Now, let me get to this, man. Starting off with Vasil Lomachenko and Jose Pedraza. That was amateur hour at the Apollo. I sat and watched these dudes fight for 10 rounds with maybe 2 serious punches being thrown in 12 rounds. in 10 of the 12 rounds. Jose Pedraza whole approach to that fight was that he was not going to sit down on any punches to make himself available to Vasil Lomachenko to counterpunch or to exchange angles and land punches on him. And Vasil Lomachenko just constantly looked for it, trying to change angles on him. Jose Pedraza took that away. And I'm telling you, man, Jose Pedraza won a lot of rounds in my book. I don't know what CompuBox that had him landing like six punches of six of his jabs. Obviously, CompuBox did not look at Vasil Lomachenko's eyes because Vasil Lomachenko's eyes were red and bruised up, both of them. Because Jose Pedraza landed a lot of shots on Vasil Lomachenko. Though they were tip-tap punches, didn't sit down on the punches. But in my opinion, they were scoring punches. Now, of course, I have Vasil Lomachenko winning the fight. I think that was very fair. But let me tell you, man, this does not look good for professional boxing, man. Really and truly. I don't think this looks good for professional boxing. Because that was an amateur fight. That was a fight where you have a C-level fighter, a B-level fighter fighting an A-level fighter who figured out that the best way to fight Vasil Lomachenko is not to commit to any punches. Why Vasil Lomachenko doesn't commit to any punches. And eventually, Vasil Lomachenko committed to just enough punches and a couple nice body shots to knock down Jose Pedraza and get Jose Pedraza in trouble. However, Jose Pedraza was never in any danger really of getting knocked out. He was just coasting along trying to make sure that he survived. But in the midst of doing that, he did survive. And Vasil Lomachenko, dude, looked like he did not look good. And there ain't no way to shine that dude. Vasil Lomachenko was getting hit with a bunch of little tip-tap punches. His eyes swelled up. If you looked at the face of Jose Pedraza and you looked at the face of Vasil Lomachenko, there's no doubt who took the most punishment to the face. But this is the one thing that I want to point out in the coverage of Top Rank's coverage and ESPN's coverage of Vasil Lomachenko versus the coverage that Showtime gave of other fighters. Vasil Lomachenko they did not show a single highlight of Jose Pedraza landing a punch on Vasil Lomachenko. And the commentators for Vasil Lomachenko were a cheerleading section the entire way through the fight. Even though, without a doubt, Vasil Lomachenko lost some of those rounds. I think Vasil Lomachenko lost, out of 12 rounds, I think he lost 4 rounds. But he got him back because he got two knockdowns. I think that was in the 11th round. Man, I certainly hope that that's not the way boxing's going. That we're not going to see more and more fighters with this tip-tap, 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 change angle, tip-tap, change angle, tip-tap, change angle style of fight, man. It was like, all right, when is the fight going to start, man? When is the fight going to start? And Jose Pedraza never let the fight start. And then Vasil Lomachenko in the 11th round was like, oh, I got to do something. And he started laying heavier shots to the body and wind up knocking down Jose Pedraza twice. But let's not be confused about this. Jose Pedraza is a B- fighter. This is a guy that Gervonta Davis got out in 7 rounds. In 7 rounds. No, let's play around. Absolutely walk through Jose Pedraza. Jose Pedraza should not have lasted. I'm shocked that Jose Pedraza lasted that whole fight. But it was because of the fact that Vasily Lomachenko absolutely refused to sit down on punches or open himself up for round after round after round after round, man. This doesn't look good for Vasily, man. Let me be very clear. This does not look very good for Vasily Lomachenko because I do believe that Teofimo Lopez, who was sitting on the undercard, was thinking, I'll kill this dude. I'll kill this old man. All I got to do is land jabs, have heavier jabs than Jose Pedraza, and then wind up, change angles with him, and sit down on my punches and really lay to this dude's body. And eventually, man, I'm going to get this guy out of here. This was not a good performance for Vasily Lomachenko at all. Bad performance for Vasily Lomachenko. Now, in Vasily Lomachenko's defense, he has surgery on his right hand, so that might have been an issue with the fight. But here's my thing, and this is why I don't think it's going to change. Vasily Lomachenko has only 12 professional fights, but Vasily Lomachenko has like 300 amateur fights, which means he's had 300, if not 300 training camps, but he's been fighting since he's 4 years old. He is 30 years old now, which means in training, Vasily Lomachenko has been fighting and training in a boxing ring for 26 years. There's not going to be a lot left of Vasily Lomachenko. I promise you. Vasily Lomachenko needs to be extremely, extremely happy that Mikey Garcia is fighting Errol Spence Jr. Because I'm telling you right now, dude, Vasily Lomachenko is not getting out of a fight with Mikey Garcia awake. It's not going to happen. Vasily Lomachenko will lose without a doubt to Mikey Garcia. If Jose Pedraza can touch that dude's head up that much just by make contact, change angle, make contact. If as soon as Mikey Garcia's season opening, all of those jabs are going to be heavy. Mikey Garcia is going to see a bunch of straight right hands. Mikey Garcia is going to be able to tie Vasily Lomachenko up. And I'm telling you, man, I don't think Vasily Lomachenko will last 10 rounds with Mikey Garcia. That beating from Mikey Garcia will be so severe that it will be shocking to the world. That's my take off watching that fight. Vasily Lomachenko is about a year and a half away from maybe 2 years from being done. Vasily Lomachenko is going to have to fight. I mean, to have difficulties, you got to understand, that was Jose Pedraza. Jose Pedraza and Jorge Linares. That is not going to float with a guy like Mikey Garcia. I promise you. Mikey Garcia is probably sitting at home right now thinking, my goodness gracious, why did I fight Errol Spence Jr.? I need to get out of this fight and go fight with Vasily Lomachenko and absolutely mop the floor with Vasily Lomachenko. And, hey, I'm just telling you, I know there's some people, Vasily Lomachenko fans, that ain't going to like that, but it is what it is, man. Mikey Garcia will mop the floor with Vasily Lomachenko. Because Vasily Lomachenko look, when you get over 30 years old and you start having shoulder surgery, he had shoulder surgery on that right hand. That right hand shoulder's not going to get better, dude. I'm telling you right now, shit's not going to get better. It's not going to come back to where it was before he had that surgery. Once you have surgery, major surgery, your shoulder, whatever you had surgery on will never be the same again. Vasily Lomachenko, man, I'm telling you, this dude's going to go to the Hall of Fame, man. He definitely won that fight. He won that fight going away. He pressed the fight. Jorge Linares didn't do enough to win enough rounds. Even if there weren't those knockdowns, I still think Vasily Lomachenko would have won that fight. But the two things that I want to really draw people's attention to is, one, as compared to the way that HBO does fighters and Showtime does fighters, ESPN And Top Rank, I guess whoever the promotion or the producer of that was, did not show one single solitary punch in the highlights landing on Vasily Lomachenko. And I saw Vasily Lomachenko get hit with lead right hands often. Jose Pedraza did not step into those punches. He just threw the punches. But body shots and right hands, dude, Vasily Lomachenko got hit a lot. Vasily Lomachenko is a guy that switches angles very well. He's a very smart fighter. He's a very inexperienced fighter. But Vasily Lomachenko, for 2 fights in a row, has had to overcome difficulties, move on to the inside of these guys, and wind up knocking guys down with body shots. It worked with Linares, and then he got Linares out of there. It worked with Jose Pedraza because Jose Pedraza wasn't really trying to land a lot of shots. But Jose Pedraza goes the distance. Mikey Garcia will destroy Vasily Lomachenko. I'm telling you, it's a wrap. There is no way that dude. Well, I guess there is a way, but more than likely, dude, Vasily Lomachenko needs to thank his lucky stars that Mikey Garcia went on ahead and fought. Errol Smith Jr. Robert Easter would have beaten the tar out of Jose Pedraza, dude. He just had that difficulty with a guy that is probably 2 steps down from Robert Easter Jr. Robert Easter Jr., I don't know if Robert Easter Jr. would beat Vasily Lomachenko, but I'm telling you right now, Robert Easter Jr. is looking at Vasily Lomachenko like, let me get my shot. I can do that from a little bit longer distance, more grab and hold and fight on the inside a little better. I would favor Vasily Lomachenko over Robert Easter Jr., but man, I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a lot closer fight than people think. But congratulations, Vasily Lomachenko. You know, he unified the WBO and the WBA titles. But you know, what can I say, man? That was not the best. That was far from the best Vasily Lomachenko performance. Vasily Lomachenko looked old. Vasily Lomachenko looks like he is a step, the way that his eyes looked, it looked like he's a step away from both of those eyes busting open. And I'm telling you, man, for fans of Vasily Lomachenko, man, you better enjoy him while he lasts. There's not a lot left of Vasily Lomachenko. And, hey, man, label me a hater if you want. Like I said again, Vasily Lomachenko was winning that fight. Vasily Lomachenko came in saying that that fight was going to be a lot like the Mariaga fight. It was to the extent that Miguel Mariaga was able to land some decent shots against Vasily Lomachenko, but there was no showboating out of Vasily Lomachenko, and Vasily Lomachenko was going to have to go check those eyes, dude, because he looked real beat up after that fight. Anyway, it is what it is, and with that, I'm out. Peace.